Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'll explain how to enable editing options in a Vue Tree Grid and the different cell edit types. I will also explain different editing modes and how to add a command buttons to the Tree Grid column. First, I open my existing project where all the necessary Tree Grid modules are configured. I add the data.js file, which has the hierarchical local JSON data, sample data, with task and subtask details. For the first object, I have added the fields, task ID, task name, and so on, with appropriate values. I've also added the child object with the same fields. I have assigned this object to the dataSource property, and the child records details are configured to the parent records, using the child mapping property. Using the columns directive, I have already mapped a few columns from the data source to be displayed in the tree grid. You can refer to my Vue Tree Grid Getting Started video to learn more about local JSON data binding, the link for which I've shared in the card above and description below. Let me run this application now. See, the tree grid is rendered with the local hierarchical data. Now, I'll show you how to enable editing options. By default, the tree grid supports options to add a new record, delete existing records, and update existing records. For these functionalities, I need to set the asPrimaryKey property to true in the task ID column, as I'm going to maintain this column with unique values. Now, to enable the editing options, first I need to import the edit module from the Vue TreeGrid package. Then I inject it in the tree grid array of the provide object. In the data method, declare a variable, edit options, and enable the allow adding, allow editing, and allow deleting properties to add, edit, and delete. And then I assign this object to the component, using the edit settings property. Next, I'm going to display these editing options in a toolbar. First, I need to import the toolbar from the Vue Tree Grid package and inject it into the tree grid array of the provide object. In the data method, I declare the variable, toolbar settings, and add the values, add, delete, update, and cancel. Then, I assign this variable to the toolbar property. Here, you can see the toolbar with edit options. You can add a new record with the Add button and update it. Edit a record by double-clicking any cell. Delete a record using the Delete button. Here, when I edit a record, you'll notice that only the text boxes are enabled for all the cells. Suppose I want to display appropriate controls for each column, I need to use different cell edit types available. By default, the tree grid supports 6 cell edit types: numeric text box, drop-down list, checkbox, date picker, and datetime picker. The default text box cell edit type is used to display string values. Now, I'm going to display a date picker for the start date column. I add the edit type property and set its value to date picker edit. In the priority column, I set the edit type as dropdown edit to display the dropdown list, numeric edit type to the duration column, and in the approved column, I set the edit type as Boolean edit to display a checkbox. Look at the output now. You can see the start date column with the date picker, duration column with the numeric text box, priority column with a drop-down list, and approved column with a checkbox. I can customize the behavior of the editor component using the edit property of the eColumn tag. Here you will find the examples to customize editor components. Now I'm going to customize the date picker component. Let me show you how to format the start date column while editing. In the data method, I declare a variable, datetime params, and define the field, params, with the format property, and set the custom datetime format. Then assign this variable to the edit option of the start date column. Now, when I double-click the records, the date value is displayed in the specified format. To render the checkboxes on the approved column, enable the Display as Checkbox property. See now, checkboxes are rendered in an approved column in a disabled state. When I edit the cell, it will be enabled. Next, let me show you the different types of editing modes: cell, row, dialog, and batch. Here, cell editing mode is set as the default mode. Next, I will demonstrate the row editing mode. To enable it, define the mode property inside the edit options and set its value to row. Then add the edit option to the toolbar settings. To edit a row, select a row and click the Edit button. I update this record by clicking the Update button in the toolbar. To enable the dialog edit mode, change the mode property value to dialog. Look at the output page now. When I start to edit the record, the dialog pops out. Here, I edit the existing grid fields and save the changes by clicking the Save button. To edit multiple records at a time, use the batch editing mode. To enable it, change the mode property value to batch inside the edit options. See the output now. I can edit multiple grid records by double-clicking the cells, and the modified records will be highlighted. I update those records on a single request by clicking the Update button in the toolbar. Finally, I will show you how to add command columns to a tree grid. The command column provides an option to add CRUD action buttons. The available built-in command buttons are Edit, Delete, Save, and Cancel. I import the command column from the Vue Tree Grid package and inject it into the tree grid array of provide object. I add a new column with the header text, Manage Records. In the data method, I add an object, namely commands, and define the button option with Edit, Delete, Save, and Cancel types. Then I assign it to the commands property in the Manage Record column. Then I change the mode type to row to demonstrate this feature clearly. Check the tree grid. The Manage Record column has the command buttons. I can edit any record and save it. Using this option, I delete a record. Now let me quickly recap. I showed you how to enable editing with toolbar options. I also showed you the different editing types and modes. You can download a working example from the GitHub link in the description for this video below. You can also see about getting a free license key to use our products if you're eligible for our community license. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel.